This week inside the Prosperity Lounge, we're tackling something that every leader, entrepreneur, and even parent faces: burnout. When the passion that once fueled your purpose starts to fade, how do you get it back? My guest today knows that struggle well. Lizette Arches is an international speaker, certified leadership coach, and best-selling author of The Passionate Leader. Originally from the Philippines, Lizette now helps leaders around the world rediscover their purpose and reignite their fire through faith, self-awareness, and service. Together, we explore what it really means to lead yourself before you lead others, why the secret to lasting impact isn't perfection, it's perpetual growth. So let me ask you, when was the last time you stopped to refuel your own fire before trying to lead someone else? Stick around because this conversation will remind you that your purpose isn't gone. It just needs a spark. So get ready and pull up a chair. You've entered the Prosperity Lounge.
Grab a seat, sip some wisdom, and stay a while. This is the Prosperity Lounge, where growth gets personal. Step inside, we're breaking chains.
Welcome back to the Prosperity Lounge, live from the Liberty University CEO Summit Day 2. I'm joined by Lizette Arches, international speaker, certified leadership coach, and best-selling author of The Passionate Leader. Lizette helps leaders around the world rediscover purpose and impact in a time when burnout is at record highs. Lizette, thanks for pulling up a chair and welcome to the lounge.
Yes, thank you so much. What a great honor to be here, Joey. Appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, I appreciate you reaching out. I gotta say, I think you were the first person that wrote me from that email that came out, so I appreciate you being proactive on that.
Yes, thank
getting
you
on the
so
calendar. It seemed like everybody signed up for day 2, because I think day 1 they were kind of like, what's going on over there in that room?
That's right,
So,
yeah.
but I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you do as a certified leadership coach.
Yes, thank you so much. This is a privilege and really an honor for me to be here. Well, I'm originally from the Philippines and migrated here when I joined my husband. We got married in the Philippines and he brought me here.
Nice.
New world, new life, right? I've been very passionate about leadership. I've seen my mom and dad been blessed with great parents who have good traits in leadership, but I've also seen the repercussion of bad leadership and how it does not only affect the individual themselves, but the people around them and the organization at large. And so that developed in my heart, and when I went to Regent University to take my master's degree in practical theology,
wow.
I ended up loving the leadership component. And that's when I met my mentors and my coaches and started the journey to being certified.
I love that. So what inspired your journey into leadership coaching and also to write your book?
What inspired me is because I don't want to have a leadership deficit. I love to see leadership thriving, leaders that are responding to their call. You are called to be a leader in the space that the Lord has prepared for you. And so if you're not going to respond, if you're not going to show up, that leaves an empty space right there for the kingdom. And that's a leadership deficit right there. And having a leadership deficit will not only be a problem for a few, it will be a problem for the entire kingdom because someone did not report.
Powerful. I had a question here, and I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it. Talking about purpose and leaders finding a purpose.
Yes.
And why do you think so many leaders today struggle to stay connected to their purpose?
They struggle to stay connected with purpose because it's so easy to get entangled with the world's suggestions. There are so
They
many.
suggest everything. When you go on Facebook, suggested friends, suggested restaurants, suggested...
Exactly. Everything
Oh
is
my
suggested. As a leader, you ought to be this leader. You got to be this. You got to be that. And so we are bombarded with the noise that we could not even have a moment where you could really seek what is my purpose in life. And then somebody will suggest meditation. Okay, you meditate. But the question is, what are you meditating? What are you meditating?
When I meditate, you say Om, right? Just,
Right.
That's
You
all I
make
know.
so you're adding a noise, right?
Right.
But my point is, the scripture tells us, Joshua chapter 1, it says, if you want to have great success, you meditate on this book day and night. Meditate.
Okay.
Meditate on what? Meditate on this book day and night. You got a playbook that would direct you, tell you, reveal, give you insight, place in your heart, and really sense what's in your heart. The desire that you have, it's almost like it's not mine, but it was put in there. And no matter what I do to run away from it, I couldn't run away from it. It's the purpose is your calling. You are being called to be a leader in the space that was prepared for you long ago.
We have a saying on the show, and it's similar to what you're kind of talking about. It's our tagline at the end: "Freedom lives where faith and action meet."
Yes.
And it seems what you're saying is we can read scripture, we can read something to meditate on, we can make noise.
Yes.
But if we're not having action with that,
Nothing
then
happens.
We can have faith, we can have purpose, but if we don't have action along with that, nothing happens.
Nothing happens because you're running on empty.
Yeah.
When you're running on empty, it's like a car. Imagine yourself like a luxurious car. You know where you're going somehow because you know your wants.
Right.
But without the fuel, without gasoline or electric or hybrid now, right?
Yeah.
Your car is not moving anywhere. It's not going anywhere.
And then
it's
what
not going to
happens
move.
is the engine burns out,
Engine-
which leads me to the next question about 82% of employees risking burnout.
Absolutely.
What's driving that number to so high? Is it just the fuel that they're not fueling themselves correctly? The leaders not fueling them?
They're
not
fueling themselves with the
purposely?
wrong stuff. 71% of CEOs are burnout. 87% of the population is vulnerable to being burnout because there's a lot of unrealized expectations. We load ourselves with a lot because we think if we are loaded, if we are busy, it makes us look good.
I look at my calendar, how busy I am, and I realize I'm not busy at all. But I look busy.
Right?
And then I realize I can't get anything done. And I feel burnt out. But then at
And
the
then-
end of the day, I got nothing done.
And then you feel like a failure.
Right.
And then it spirals down that you're not productive, but you are tired.
Right.
You are
Very
exhausted. Well, so what is it?
Now, do you think in a corporate structure, does that burnout stem from the top, or is it a culture in their situation? So employees are getting burnt out. Does that burnout come because their leaders are burnt out, or because the system?
It could
is
be.
burning them
It
out,
could
or-
be multiple things because we are bombarded in different arenas,
Okay, yeah.
different areas. So, but here's the thing, Joey. If the leader is exhausted, what quality of leadership do you think the leader will deliver?
Poor.
Right.
Very poor leadership.
Poor
Okay.
judgment.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, which
Poor
then reflects
poor
on the-
attitude,
Yeah.
which will reflect in everything you do and in your connections with one another.
Yeah,
And
you're
it
right.
just makes things worse because the people that you are leading are already being bombarded with the other elements of burnout. So it's not helping that you are a leader over there that should be inspiring.
That's true. Very true.
Yes.
You mentioned that you teach leaders 3 powerful secrets to reignite passion.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the book.
It's in the book, and I actually have 10, but I can share 3 things
So
today.
The 3 that I have here for today are
Yes.
own it, you are the leader, get to know you, and lead you.
Yes.
Let's talk about the first one first.
Okay.
Own it. You are a leader.
Own it, you are a leader.
Why is ownership the first step towards overcoming burnout?
Because unless you step up and take that ownership, you are not going to be willing to dive in to this leadership journey that allows you to actually be wowed of what's inside of you that's going to come out as you begin your journey in your leadership.
So how can you help leaders redefine what leadership looks like in their season of life?
In their season of life, as you know, we have different seasons in life. Your but your leadership journey.
Still springtime for this boy.
Springtime, always springtime. How about that?
Always.
Yes, because we want to be fresh and we want to be fruit bearing. Right?
That's right.
Yeah, very promising. Yeah. Well, leadership is about setting up the direction and the future for your people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to own it and not put the responsibility on the shoulder of somebody else, because to me, leadership above all else is responsibility. Greatness is about your responsibility. The responsibility to respond to the need, to respond to the burden that you have in your heart. Sometimes leadership calling starts with a burden. Why does it bother you? It's because you want to start a change. You want to change for the better. You want to make a difference. A lot of leaders that were called is because they felt that. I felt like I can make a difference.
Now, I'm going to nerd out for a second and quote a comic book line, and it's from Spider-Man, and it's, "With great power comes great responsibility."
Yes.
And it sounds like as a leader, you have great power, but you also have this great responsibility to lead your team in the right
Accordingly.
direction.
Yes.
Accordingly, yeah. Now, we've talked a lot about leadership on the program over the last several weeks, and got a lot of different leadership styles. 360 leadership, lead from the front, lead from the side, lead from behind.
Right.
Hands off, hands on. Do as I say, follow this, lead, get out of the way. Give me your favorite leadership style.
My favorite leadership style is my style.
Your style, yes.
And your
I love
favorite
that.
and your favorite leadership style, Joey, is your style. Here's the thing. When I'm coaching, I start with own it, you are a leader, and then I take them to get to know you. Because your leadership style is based on your personality indicator. If your personality is driven, like me, it says driven, dominant, then I will be a driven leadership style.
Okay. So if you're in a corporate structure, let's say I'm the CEO and I want to hire managers, leaders from my organization, I have to find leaders that reflect my leadership style that's going to permeate through the structure. If I bring somebody in that clashes with me, I'm a laid-back guy, and I bring somebody in that's a hard-nosed, hammered to the grindstone kind of guy, that culture of that business is going to change. Employees are then going to see that change in culture, and then that burnout
just would skyrocket. See, as a leader, you set the tone, you set the atmosphere, you set the standard. But at the same time, when you begin to discover the personality of the team and respect that, and discover what are the treasures, I call it treasures, inside of that personality indicator. Because there are many tools, but I use DISC. I'm a certified John Maxwell leadership team member, and so what we use is the DISC method, the John Maxwell way. So we do the DISC, the dominant, the influencer, the steady, and the compliant. So at least for just this 4 quadrant, you can see these 4 traits in your entire team. And when they discover who they are, what they carry inside of them, their wiring, you begin to celebrate. You begin to celebrate who you are. You begin to celebrate what you have and what you can put on the table as a team. Together, every one of us achieves more.
Yeah, team. together, everyone achieves more.
Yes.
I love acronyms, by the way.
There you
I
go.
love it. I'm trying to look up here because I did one of those personality assessments a
You
long
did?
time ago.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's the same exact one, but I think it was an INFJ.
Oh, that's the Myers-Briggs.
Myers-Briggs.
Yeah, Myers-Briggs is the classic, all-time assessment that's available out in the market. I like this, and I will be biased because I'm certified. But the reason why I got certified is because it's simple. It's simple. And you can be a combination of those four. And let me tell you, your experiences can really allow you to grow in such a way that you are demonstrating personality traits of all four. But who you really are is your predominant personality.
Sure.
The reason behind that, Joey, is awareness. When you become self-aware, you will also develop this people skills of knowing what is the personality of that person and how can I connect. It's making the relationship effective.
That's very true. Like when I'm coaching couples or individuals, it's not about me.
No.
And that's the hardest thing that was the hardest thing for me to understand and get through in the beginning was, hey, I went through it this way. You got to go through it this way too, because that's the only way I know.
Correct.
But learning from different personality styles and reading several books on how to conduct sessions with therapy and things like that, you realize you're not coaching yourself. You have to coach the person.
Correct.
And finding out what their learning style is, because they may be visual, and you may be auditory.
Correct.
And you have to then meet them where they're at.
Correct. Absolutely.
I hate to say it, coaches out there, you may have to send them to another coach because it's not a good fit. Not every client's a fit for you.
Right.
And you have to realize that early on, because you can try to put a square peg in a round hole, and that's not going to help you. And it's definitely not going to help your client.
Absolutely. See, the thing is, it's not your dream, it's their dream. Now, when you are the CEO, you're a leader, there is a vision, there is a dream. How do you connect your people to that vision? Is to allow them to discover their vision and connect and align that vision to the company and unleash that with passion, because passion fuels purpose.
Passion fuels purpose. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt.
Yes.
Can I do that?
I will put it. We are going to promote that passion.
Together,
yes, let's do that.
Stickers and stuff there. Passion promotes purpose. I always think of myself as when I'm coaching as more of less of a leader, more of a guide. I liken sometimes to Geppetto from Pinocchio, where you're kind of that conscience on the shoulder, you're kind of showing the right path, but letting the person experience the ups and downs, but being there to sort of, all right, well, you saw how that went, you turned into a donkey. Now you're back to being a boy again or whatever, and I'm going to still be there to help you.
Absolutely.
So you made mistakes. I'm not abandoning you, but if I try to force you down my path, it's just not going to work. But you have to take your own journey. The end game may be the same, but your journey is different than mine, how to get there.
Correct. So even at the workplace, if you're going to be there 8 to 5, 9 to 4, you might as well make the journey, the day fun. And livable and enjoyable than miserable. And part of it is really being able to know ourselves, get to know you, or be, as I've said in the book, know thyself or be lost.
Yeah, if you don't have a plan, you're planning the failure to plan is planning to fail. And if you don't know where you're going, you're going to end up somewhere else.
That's correct. In the ditch.
That's right.
As you said in your book.
That's right. And that was actually a funny story. I was 3 years old, and my dad was blind, and I was his guide. I was his guide kid instead of a guide dog. Didn't have a cane or a dog. It was me.
Wow.
So he held on to me, and we're walking down the street to the corner store to get milk and bread and eggs and stuff. And we passed by a construction crew. They were doing paving, filling up potholes. And we walked past them, no problem. And on the way up, I'm 3 years old. I'm not paying attention. I'm just kind of going on the round. And we walked past the same pothole. And my dad tripped and fell into the ditch.
Oh, no.
And the eggs broke. The milk splattered everywhere. And he was kind of laughing a little bit about it because I'm 3. What are you going to do, right? I didn't do it on purpose. The guys helped him out. And I when he got out, he's all covered in eggs. Like, he looked like he just came out of a bakery. And he looks at me, and I look at him, and I said, Dad, why aren't you using one of those sticks? Meaning the cane. And he's like, you're right. I shouldn't be taking leadership advice or being led by a 3-year-old. It's just not appropriate. So he got a cane, and he learned how to use that. And I would still guide him around, but he was more independent, and he did his thing. But yeah, it was that,
perfect illustration, right?
But that's talking about the next thing is leading you.
Leading you.
Right. Leadership starts internally, and you have to be willing to accept that you need to lead yourself.
Yes.
Right. So that situation with my dad is like, yeah, he put the leadership onus on me and not himself.
Right.
He didn't really get to know him until he fell into the ditch.
Right.
And then once he did, he realized he had to lead himself. And by doing that, he started leading others as well. And promoting causes and leading others for 35 years after that.
That's incredible.
And rising through organizations and things for the blind.
Yeah.
So I think that I think I have a little bit of a spark to do with that. But anyway, that's that lead you part you're talking about. Is like you have to lead yourself, and that leadership starting internally. So how do you model that for your clients?
Leading yourself, leading is leading in the front. Leadership is leading from the front. You don't tell people to do what you're not willing to do it yourself.
Right.
It's always setting the example. And so as a leader, you develop that by discipline. The discipline comes from the habits that you are forming, because those habits become, your behavior.
Right.
So being able to assess what are the areas in life that you would want to better, want to improve on.
Sure.
And I don't want to scare your listeners to say, oh my gosh, I got to be the perfect person because I'm a leader. No, you don't. Little adjustments, small steps are the key, because over time it becomes part of you, and you become authentic, and you're credible, and you can tell that you've subjected yourself. And in another chapter, no pain, no gain. You subjected yourself to that for the sake of those that you're going to lead, that you may not be disqualified at the end of the game.
I think it's important for everyone to understand that we are imperfect beings.
Absolutely.
We can strive to be perfect, but perfection will never be obtained.
No, it's not perfection, it's perpetual growth.
Perpetual growth. And I am getting so many lessons this last couple of days. Perpetual growth. I had one yesterday about failing forward.
Failing forward.
Man, I'm growing.
It's not about you falling, it's about you rising.
And making progress in learning.
Correct, and moving forward, and making progress.
My goodness. So let's talk a little bit about leadership as an influence. We talked a little bit in the beginning about burnout. What are some early signs of burnout that leaders often overlook?
Often they overlook, of course, the obvious is exhaustion physically.
Okay.
But that's already the symptoms of what's going on in the emotion.
Sure.
And in the mental health, the mind. The mind is the first one that's being attacked. And that's the reason why, we are commanded to put on the helmet of salvation. You put that helmet of salvation, the attack starts at the top. And all these arrows that's being thrown on you is aimed to topple you down. But when those thoughts that come into your mind goes down to your emotion, that pushes you to take action. And when that behavior, that action is affected, that's when this exhaustion manifests, sickness, chronic illness, and stuff like that. The invisible is now becoming visible.
Another T-shirt. Yeah, we're going to get so rich off of this.
We're going to have a lot of T-shirts.
Oh, man. How, as a coach, how are you balancing empathy and accountability
Oh, yes, that's big. Yeah, empathy is, understanding where you are from, but I'm not going to, I love you enough and I care for you enough that I will not let you stay where you are, because I believe in your greatness and that you are able to get to your full potential, your full stature of who you were meant to be. That's the accountability is, okay, I have empathy. I know I'm imperfect as you are. I understand the situations that you are going through right now. But I love you enough and I care enough for you for me to hold you accountable to get to where you're supposed to be.
Okay.
And the other thing, Joey, it's a twist. In accountability, I do it differently. You make yourself accountable. I will not hold you accountable until it starts from you.
Yeah, I always tell clients when I'm working with them, before I work with them, how committed are you?
Yes.
Because I can't care about you or your business more than you care about you or your business.
Absolutely.
Because I tell them, I will run through a brick wall for you, but I'm not going to bounce off because we're not going through together. I got a hard head.
Absolutely.
But I can't run through that wall for you. We got to run through it together.
Exactly. And in the first place, this is your dream. This is your vision. This is you.
It's not mine. It's yours.
And you have. And so my first question is, I test my clients. I test my clients with questions because they need to be able to know what they want. They need to be able to say, I take responsibility for the things that I have not done thus far. That's why I'm looking for a coach to help me move forward. And those are the people that you really will be able to help. Because unless they're willing to admit that they're not the one responsible, to keep on blaming other people, we're not going anywhere.
That's right. And you're stuck. Man, okay. For leaders who are feeling stuck, great transitions, by the way. We're right on point. What's one small step that they can take this week to reignite their fire?
Reignite your fire when you feel you're stuck. Number one, admit, recognize you are stuck. You have not progressed, and if you continue doing this, you're gonna spiral down. It's not gonna get better. It's only gonna get worse. Number two, seek. You need to seek somebody because it's like this. You have a grill. You grill on summer?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Grilling time, summertime, right? When the fire is coming, it's dying down already, there's still an ember, like a small ember there, right?
Yeah.
The spark, right? So if you really want to refire it, what does it need is a little bit of fanning. A little bit of oxygen. So really, a leader, I really believe that a leader, you don't need to wait until the fire is totally gone. When you already, that's a symptom. You're already knowing that your fire is dying. And what you need is fanning of the fire.
Fan the flames,
fan the flames. And the step to do it is look for somebody. Don't rely on yourself because you cannot do it all. You cannot be your own coach.
No, coaches make the worst clients.
That's why I made myself, I secure. I have coaches, I have mentors, I have a pastor. And so I want to make sure my spiritual area, I'm a pastor myself, but I have a pastor. I'm a coach, I have a coach. I'm a mentor, I have a mentor in different areas of my life.
That's the way to do it.
And that's also leading by example.
Absolutely. So before we end today, Lizette, I have my one of my favorite sections is our 10 rapid fire questions.
Okay.
First words that come to your head. We're going to go through these pretty quickly. Best book you ever read that changed your perspective?
Change of perspective. Say that again.
Best book you ever read that changed your perspective?
21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership.
What's a daily habit that contributes most to your success?
My morning routine, quiet time.
What's the worst financial or business mistake you ever made, and what did you learn from it?
That I did not seek a financial expert.
If you can have dinner with any entrepreneur, past or present, who would it be?
Ooh, that is a great question because I have many. Yeah, but I would start with, why not? Our own mentor, John Maxwell, right?
There you go.
And we need to hurry up too.
Right. What's one mindset shift that completely changed the game for you?
The mindset of I'm not perfect and it's okay.
That's right.
I can progress, I can grow. It's a perpetual growth.
What's one piece of advice you ignored at first but later realized was absolute gold?
Oh, that I need to pay attention to those people across me, to listen carefully.
Yeah. What's one word you use to describe your journey so far?
Exciting.
If you had to start over tomorrow with nothing but what's in your head, what's the first thing you do?
If I start tomorrow with nothing, first thing I do, oh my goodness, is I'm going to look for somebody to fire them up.
Okay.
Because together we can collaborate and do big things.
What's one thing people misunderstand about you or your work?
That I can, that I'm small, because I'm very small, I'm short.
I didn't notice.
They underestimate me, and that's okay, because I realize I'm a stealth.
What's your personal definition of prosperity?
Prosperity is fulfillment.
I love that. Lizette, this has been fantastic. For anyone listening who wants to learn more about your work, grab your book, The Passionate Leader, or bring you to speak, where can they find you?
They can find me at LizetteArches.com. That's L-I-Z for zebra, E-T-T-E. Arches is the golden arches. LizetteArches.com.
Over 1 billion coached? I love that.
And the Passionate Leader is also a bestseller, so you guys need to get a hold of it.
Passionate Leader. I am definitely going to be reading this. It looks like there's, Lizette, there's work to do in here.
Yeah, because it's good to have a fast, I call it the fast action sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My goodness. All right. Well, thank you again, Lizette, for joining us here on the Prosperity Lounge. Until next time, everybody, stay faithful, stay fearless, and remember, freedom lives where faith and action meet. The lounge is always open, and so is your next breakthrough. This is the Prosperity Lounge.
Thanks for pulling up a chair inside the Prosperity Lounge, where growth gets personal and hope meets freedom. I hope today's conversation sparks some new ideas and inspires you to take your next bold action towards freedom in business, finances, and life. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts so you never miss an episode. You can also join our free community at theprosperitylounge.com, where the conversation continues and you can connect with others, get access to our exclusive resources like our budget course, our budget app, a ton of downloads. Until next time, everybody, stay faithful, stay fearless, and remember, freedom lives where faith and action meet. The lounge is always open, and so is your next breakthrough.